Think you know Bruce Lee? Think again. This guy wasn't just kicking butt and taking names. He was bending the rules of physics left, right, and center.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Are you ready to witness feats so extraordinary that even scientists can't explain them? 1. The one-inch punch. Bruce Lee's one-inch punch is the stuff of legend, a seemingly impossible feat where he could send opponents flying with a punch that barely traveled an inch. It's a move that has left martial artists and scientists alike scratching their heads, wondering, how is this even possible? Well, it's not magic, but it's definitely impressive. The one-inch punch isn't just about brute strength. It's about perfect timing and using your whole body like a tightly coiled spring. Bruce Lee engaged almost every muscle, transferring energy from his legs and core up through his torso and into his fist. His lightning-fast reflexes and perfect technique let him unleash this power in a split-second burst with laser-like precision. Scientists have actually studied this move, and it's seriously mind-blowing. They found that a one-inch punch can hit just as hard as a regular punch from much further away. How? Well, it's all about generating and transferring kinetic energy. That's the energy of motion. Bruce Lee's lightning-fast movements built up a ton of kinetic energy, and then bam! All that energy was transferred straight to his opponent on impact, sending them flying. The faster the punch, the bigger the impact, and Bruce Lee's punch was blazingly fast. 2. The dragon flag. Okay, forget sit-ups and crunches, because Bruce Lee took core strength to a whole new level with the dragon flag. To pull this off, you need abs of steel, a back that could support a skyscraper, and a grip so strong you could probably squeeze juice out of a rock. It's not just about lifting your legs into the air, it's about maintaining that rigid, full-body tension like a human flagpole as you slowly lower and raise yourself, hovering above the bench with only your upper back and shoulders touching it. It's like playing a game of chicken with the laws of physics and winning. It's a brutal core workout that targets your abs, obliques, and even your back muscles. It's the kind of exercise that leaves you feeling like you've wrestled a dragon, hence the name. 3. The two-finger push-up. Bruce Lee wasn't just about kicks and punches. He could even defy gravity with his fingertips. Yep, this martial arts icon was known for performing push-ups on just 2 fingers. Imagine the strength and control required to balance your entire body weight on just 2 digits. It's like trying to do a handstand on a couple of matchsticks, a feat that would make even the most seasoned gymnast sweat. This move flexes not only Lee's extraordinary finger and forearm strength, but also his insane core, stability, and balance. It's like his whole body was made of iron. And let's not forget the flexibility and coordination required to keep those wrists steady under such immense pressure. 4. The unhittable. You know how in cartoons, the hero sometimes moves so fast, they leave a blurry afterimage? Well, that was basically Bruce Lee in real life. This guy was so insanely quick and agile, people swore he was unhittable. Opponents would throw punches and kicks, only to find themselves flailing at empty air. It was like trying to swat a fly with a sledgehammer completely useless. It wasn't just speed, though. Lee had this uncanny ability to read his opponent's minds, like he knew what they were going to do before they even did. It was like he had a cheat code for the fight. His footwork was next level too. He'd bob and weave, slipping in and out of range like a slippery eel. It was enough to make you wonder if he'd mastered teleportation or something. This unhittable quality made Bruce Lee a total nightmare to fight. He wasn't just reacting, he was always one step ahead, making his opponents feel like they were battling a ghost. 5. The non-telegraphic kick. Bruce Lee's kicks weren't just powerful, they were practically invisible until it was too late. This was thanks to his signature non-telegraphic technique. Basically, he could unleash a devastating kick without any of the usual telltale signs that would give his opponent a chance to react. Say goodbye to those slow-motion wind-ups and obvious weight shifts that telegraph a kick coming. Lee's kicks were launched from a relaxed, almost casual stance with minimal body movement to tip off his opponent. Then, in a blink of an eye, his leg would explode forward with incredible speed and power, fueled not just by his leg muscles, but his entire core and hips. It was this combination of stealth and explosive force that made the non-telegraphic kick so effective. Opponents were left bewildered, struggling to defend against an attack they barely saw coming. It's a move that perfectly embodies Bruce Lee's philosophy of being like water.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Adaptable, unpredictable, and devastatingly effective. 6. Ping pong with nunchucks. Bruce Lee wasn't your average martial arts master. He was a showman, an innovator, and, apparently, a ping pong whiz with a twist. You won't believe this, but he actually played ping pong with nunchucks. Yeah, those spinning, chain-linked weapons that most people can barely handle without hitting themselves in the face. Wimpy paddles? Not for Bruce Lee. This martial arts legend took ping pong to a whole new level of awesome. This stunt, caught on camera during a promo for Enter the Dragon, showed off his insane reflexes and mind-blowing precision. Seriously, he was volleying that tiny ball like it was nothing, making it look almost too easy. But this wasn't just some silly trick. It was a powerful display of his martial arts skills and his creative spirit. He wasn't just a fighter, he was an artist, pushing the boundaries of what was possible and captivating audiences worldwide. Thanks to Bruce Lee, nunchucks even went from obscure weapons to mainstream cool. He showed the world just how versatile and deadly they could be, all while having a bit of fun in the process. 7. Bruce Lee's Herculean strength. Sure, Bruce Lee was a lean, mean fighting machine, weighing in at a mere 130 or 140 pounds. But don't let his size fool you. He packed a punch that would make a heavyweight boxer think twice. Lee didn't just wake up one day with superhuman strength. Oh no, this was the result of years of grueling training and pushing his body to the absolute limit. He was obsessed with perfecting his technique and power, constantly experimenting with new ways to get stronger and faster. And the results? 5 solid oak boards stacked together, the kind you'd need a sledgehammer to crack. Bruce Lee shattered them all with a single kick. That's the kind of power that comes from pure dedication and unwavering determination. 8. Lighting matchsticks with nunchucks. With a swift flick of his wrist and a blur of spinning wood, Bruce Lee could reportedly strike a matchstick mid-air, igniting it with the sheer friction generated by his nunchucks. That's how you turn up the heat, controlling 2 whirling sticks with such precision that he could pinpoint a tiny matchstick in mid-air and generate enough friction to light it on fire. That's the kind of legendary feat that has solidified Bruce Lee's status as a martial arts icon. This move demands lightning-fast reflexes, superhuman coordination, and an almost uncanny understanding of the nunchuck's movement. He had to know exactly where those nunchucks were at every moment and time his strike perfectly to create that spark. 9. The slap that dislocated a shoulder. Now, a slap might not sound like much compared to flying kicks and one-inch punches, but in Bruce Lee's hands, even a seemingly gentle tap could pack a wallop. Legend has it that he once delivered a slap so forceful that it dislocated his opponent's shoulder. Sounds a bit unbelievable, doesn't it? But there are actually eyewitness accounts of this happening. They say Lee's slap was lightning fast and precise, hitting a specific pressure point on the shoulder. Turns out, there's some science behind this. A well-placed slap can send a shockwave through the body, messing up the joint and causing a dislocation. But it takes crazy speed, accuracy, and knowledge of the human body to pull it off. Bruce Lee wasn't just strong. He understood the human body inside and out, and he knew how to use its own mechanics against it. His slap wasn't just a random hit. It was a calculated strike that exploited a weak point in his opponent's anatomy. 10. The straight blast. Bruce Lee's straight blast was a move fueled by pure, unadulterated aggression. Inspired by a similar technique in Wing Chun Kung Fu, Lee made it his own, turning it into a signature move in his Jeet Kune Do philosophy. The goal? Overwhelm your opponent with a relentless attack, forcing them to backpedal and defend for their lives. It's a flurry of punches thrown in quick succession, with minimal telegraphing aimed straight down the center line. Lee wasn't just about throwing punches as fast as possible, though. He emphasized perfect footwork and body alignment, making sure each strike packed a serious punch while keeping him balanced and ready for more. It's no wonder that even seasoned boxers were caught off guard by this funny-looking technique. But Bruce Lee proved time and again that the straight blast was a force to be reckoned with, leaving many a sparring partner seeing stars. The straight blast became one of Lee's signature moves, featured in his training and iconic films like Enter the Dragon and Way of the Dragon. His students, like Dan Inosanto and Ted Wong, have carried on the tradition, solidifying its place as a core element of Jeet Kune Do. 11. Too fast for film. Bruce Lee's moves weren't just lightning fast, they were practically invisible. During the filming of The Green Hornet, his punches and kicks were so quick they'd appear as a blur on camera. It was like he was teleporting, leaving his opponents stunned and the cameramen scratching their heads. We're talking 9 punches in 1 second and 6 kicks in another. Back in the day, cameras weren't as advanced, so capturing Lee's insane speed was a real challenge. The filmmakers wanted to showcase Lee's incredible skills, but they also needed the audience to actually see what was happening. So believe it or not, Bruce Lee actually had to slow down his moves so the cameras could keep up. Talk about being too fast for Hollywood. It shows just how dedicated and in control he was, adapting his fighting style for the sake of the camera. It makes you wonder what his moves would look like with today's high-speed cameras. 12. The coin trick. Bruce Lee wasn't just a martial arts master. He was practically a magician with lightning-fast reflexes. Rumor has it, this guy could pluck a coin right out of your open palm before you could even blink, leaving a different one in its place. But how did he pull it off? Well, it was a combination of ninja-like sleight of hand, impeccable timing, and a whole lot of charisma. He'd secretly palm a second coin, distract you with his charm, And that's when the switch was made. But this wasn't just about showing off. This trick perfectly sums up Bruce Lee's whole martial arts philosophy: speed, precision, and the element of surprise. Just like his lightning-fast punches, the coin trick shows his dedication, discipline, and crazy focus. 13. No sweat. Bruce Lee's commitment to his craft was incomparable, bordering on the obsessive. This guy was a perfectionist in every sense, constantly pushing his body and mind to their limits. But his dedication didn't stop at just training and kicking butt. It extended to his on-screen image as well. You see, Bruce Lee was determined to project an image of flawless martial arts mastery, and that meant no sweaty armpits on camera. So, in a move that might raise a few eyebrows today, he actually had the sweat glands removed from his armpits. No more embarrassing pit stains during those high-flying kicks and gravity-defying punches. Now, this might seem a bit extreme, but it perfectly captures Bruce Lee's unwavering focus on presenting a polished, powerful image. He understood the importance of visual appeal, especially in the world of film and entertainment. Plus, let's be honest, who wants to see a sweaty action hero? This decision also shows just how dedicated Lee was to his craft. He was willing to go the extra mile, or maybe even a few hundred miles, to ensure he looked his best and presented martial arts in the most captivating way possible. So, while we might chuckle at the lengths he went to, we can't deny his commitment to excellence. Bruce Lee was a true original, a man who pushed boundaries both in the dojo and in front of the camera. And hey, at least he never had to worry about deodorant again. 14. Blindfolded sparring. Okay, so you thought Bruce Lee was impressive with his eyes open. Wait till you hear about this. Lee could actually fight blindfolded. This martial arts superstar would literally tie a blindfold around his head and still manage to effortlessly evade and counter his opponent's attacks. It's like he had a built-in radar system or some kind of spidey sense. He'd calmly stand in the center of the room while his training partners launched attacks from all angles. He'd dodge punches, block kicks, and even counter with his own strikes, all without being able to see a thing. It's the kind of thing that makes you question if he was secretly a superhero in disguise. So, how did he do it? Well, it's a testament to his heightened senses and his deep understanding of martial arts. Lee believed in feeling his opponent's energy and movements, relying on his other senses to anticipate and react to their attacks. He also emphasized the importance of emptying your mind and reacting instinctively without conscious thought. This feat showcases not only Lee's incredible reflexes and agility, but also his mental discipline and focus. He was able to tune out distractions, trust his instincts, and flow seamlessly with his opponent's movements, even without the aid of sight. 15. The iron palm method. Forget delicate fingers and gentle taps. Bruce Lee's hands were weapons of mass destruction. We're talking about the legendary iron palm method, a training method that transformed his hands into tools of sheer power. Think of it as the ultimate high five, except you probably wouldn't have a hand left afterwards. Now, traditional iron palm training involves repeatedly striking hard objects like sandbags or even iron balls, yikes, to toughen up your hands. It's the kind of training that would make most people wince and say, "Nope, not for me." But Bruce Lee wasn't most people. He took a more scientific approach, focusing on understanding how the body works and how to maximize power without wasting any energy. Instead of just mindlessly hitting things, he used principles from biomechanics and physiology to turn his hands into ironclad weapons. It wasn't just about raw power, though. Lee believed in overall fitness and functional strength. making sure his entire body was in peak condition to deliver those devastating blows. He was all about efficiency, making sure every movement had a purpose and contributed to his martial arts mastery. So, while Bruce Lee respected the traditional aspects of Iron Palm training, he wasn't afraid to shake things up and do his own thing. He modernized the technique, focusing on practicality and effectiveness. His Iron Palm wasn't just about breaking boards. It was about delivering a focused, impactful strike that could stop an opponent in their tracks. 16. The stop hit. In the midst of a flurry of punches and kicks, Bruce Lee could unleash a move that would silence his opponent's aggression instantly. Enter the stop hit, a technique designed to intercept and neutralize an attack before it even fully develops. It's like hitting the pause button on your opponent's aggression, leaving them stunned and vulnerable. Imagine a punch coming your way. Instead of waiting to block or dodge it, Bruce Lee would intercept it mid-flight with a strike so swift it'd make a hummingbird jealous. He'd disrupt its momentum, robbing it of its power. It's like a preemptive strike, turning defense into offense in a split second. The stop hit requires incredible timing, precision, and anticipation. You have to read your opponent's intentions, predict their attack, and then strike with the speed of a cobra. It's not just about reacting. It's about being proactive, disrupting their rhythm, and taking control of the fight. This technique clearly demonstrates Bruce Lee's philosophy of efficiency and economy of motion. He believed in cutting out the fluff and striking at the perfect moment. The stop hit is a prime example of this, neutralizing an attack before it even has a chance to get off the ground. 17. The Chi Sao Master. There's another trick up Bruce Lee's sleeve that truly sets him apart. His mastery of Chi Sao, also known as sticking hands. Now, Chi Sao might sound like some kind of fancy sushi roll, but it's actually a Wing Chun Kung Fu training exercise. It's where two people keep their forearms touching while trying to hit and block each other. It's like a super fast, close quarters dance, where feeling your opponent's moves, timing, and quick reflexes are key. Bruce Lee was a Chi Sao maestro. He could easily block and redirect attacks, switching from defense to offense in a flash. It was like his arms had a mind of their own. This wasn't just about physical skill, though. Bruce Lee deeply understood energy and flow. He believed in sticking to his opponent, reading their every move and reacting smoothly and precisely. Chi Sao is more than just training. It's a way of thinking, a way of life. It teaches you to be in the moment, adapt, and always be ready. Bruce Lee lived by these principles, both in his fighting and his everyday life. 18. The undefeated champion. Okay, let's set the record straight. Bruce Lee wasn't just a movie star doing fancy kicks and punches. This guy was the real deal, a martial arts prodigy who was practically unbeatable in a fight. Here's the jaw-dropping truth. Bruce Lee is believed to have never lost a single fight in his entire life. We're not just talking about friendly sparring matches either. Lee faced off against challengers from all walks of life, from street brawlers to seasoned martial artists, and he always came out on top. He was a master of multiple disciplines, blending Wing Chun, boxing, fencing, and even jiu-jitsu into his own unique style called Jeet Kune Do, aka the way of the intercepting fist. Sure, there's always some debate about whether Lee truly never lost a fight, but the evidence is pretty overwhelming. His record is spotless, and the stories of his insane skills are still told with awe and wonder today. He was simply unmatched in his time. So next time someone questions Bruce Lee's fighting abilities, just remember, this guy was a force of nature, a true warrior who embraced the challenge of combat and emerged victorious every single time. 19. The Secret Showdown with Lo Wei. Okay, so we all know Bruce Lee was a cinematic powerhouse, but did you know his fighting spirit wasn't just for the cameras? It's rumored that he even had a secret showdown with none other than renowned film director Lo Wei. Word on the street is, things got pretty heated during the filming of The Big Boss. Lee, ever the perfectionist, was frustrated with Lo Wei's old-school approach to fight choreography. Lee wanted real, raw action, not some choreographed dance-off. These creative differences simmered until they boiled over into an actual physical confrontation. Apparently, Lee, fueled by frustration and a burning desire to prove his point, threw down the gauntlet to Lo Wei right there on set. Now, the exact details of this epic clash are a bit hazy. Some say it was a quick and decisive victory for Lee, showcasing his superior speed and skill. Others claim it was a more evenly matched scrap, with both men landing a few punches. Whatever the truth, this alleged encounter adds another layer to the Bruce Lee legend. It paints a picture of a man who was not just passionate about his craft, but also fiercely dedicated to his vision. He wasn't afraid to stand up for what he believed in, even if it meant going toe-to-toe with a powerful figure like Lo Wei. 20. The Human Tremor Machine. Did you know that Bruce Lee could make his muscles dance on command? Seriously, this guy could isolate and flex specific muscles, making them quiver and ripple under his skin like he was plugged into an electrical socket. His pecs could do the wave, his lats would pulsate. It was both mesmerizing and slightly terrifying, like witnessing a human earthquake in action. But this wasn't just some party trick. Bruce Lee believed this muscle control was key to his explosive power and speed. It's like he could turn on the turbo boosters in his muscles, giving his punches and kicks an extra jolt of force. Talk about adding insult to injury. This ability also shows just how dedicated Lee was to mastering his body. We're not talking about flexing in the mirror. This is next-level muscle control that takes years of training and a mind-body connection that most of us can only dream of. 21. Catching rice grains with chopsticks. Bruce Lee's speed and precision weren't confined to just the martial arts arena. One particularly mind-boggling feat attributed to him is the ability to catch a single grain of rice mid-air using nothing but chopsticks. Yes, you heard that right. A single grain of rice with chopsticks. Now, before you dismiss this as pure myth, let's just take a moment to appreciate the sheer absurdity of this claim. We're talking about snatching a tiny, lightweight object moving at lightning speed with 2 sticks. It's like trying to catch a bullet with a pair of tweezers. While there's no video evidence to back up this claim, the story has become part of Bruce Lee's larger-than-life legacy, whispered among martial artists and fans with a mix of awe and disbelief. And let's be honest, it's the perfect embodiment of his dedication to mastering every aspect of movement. Think about the insane focus, the pinpoint accuracy, the sheer dexterity required to pull off such a feat. 22. Blurry vision, sharp skills. You might think that having perfect vision is a must for a martial arts master, but Bruce Lee flipped that notion on its head. This guy had terrible eyesight, yet he could still hit a target the size of a dime from across the room. It's like he had a built-in radar system, compensating for his blurry vision with superhuman senses and reflexes. Imagine that. The man known for his lightning-fast reflexes and pinpoint accuracy was basically walking around half blind. It's like a superhero with a secret weakness. Except Bruce Lee turned his weakness into a superpower. Instead of letting his poor eyesight hold him back, he used it to his advantage. He trained like a madman, honing his other senses and developing an almost supernatural awareness of his surroundings. He relied on muscle memory, intuition, and pure instinct to anticipate his opponent's moves and strike with deadly accuracy. It's said that Lee could hit tiny moving targets and even snatch a fly out of the air with his chopsticks. Okay, maybe that one's a legend, but still, his precision was mind-blowing even when he was blindfolded. It seems the only question left is, did Bruce Lee ever receive the memo about the limits of human potential? Or did he just rip it up and rewrite the rules himself?